Hey, Crawlspacers, welcome to our Venom, The Last Dance movie review. Possibly the last Venom movie. Well, maybe the last Venom movie with Tom Hardy. Let's see who we've got on the panel to talk about this movie. We've got Josh from Canada. What's going on, Josh?
We are so glad that movie's over.
Can you get a Halls? Like, what's up with the throat? No. Do you have a Venom sweater on? That's what I'm saying?
Got my
looks like anti-Venom.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. That looks cool. I've got a split face Spider-Man Venom shirt.
Yeah, that looks good.
So, all right, we got George. George, any Venom clothing in your closet? Just curious.
I'm wearing a symbiote polo.
A symbiote polo. Okay, so it's black.
A symbiote polo. Yeah, it's black.
Okay, so it's actually a black polo. Okay, got you. All right,
because it's a symbiote, Brad. It can take the
take any form. Yeah, I got you. I see.
I could have made it into a tuxedo, but I didn't want to.
Oh, you're a Miss Chen super fan.
Yes,
is what it says under your name. That's funny. You like Mrs. Chen.
Yeah.
All right. We also have Sarah. What's going on, Sarah?
Hey, how's it going?
I missed you.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing any Venom stuff. I totally dropped the ball on that. I'm wearing Spider-Man. What's wrong with me?
You had one job. You had one job, Sarah.
I had one job.
Okay, Mr. Polo Symbiote. And we also have Christina. What's going on, Christina?
Not much. We all had the right idea.
All right. You have a Mark Bagley Venom t-shirt. Very good.
Well, not all of us.
No, most of us.
I'm trying to give Sarah the side eye, but I'm trying to do it correctly with the boxes.
I think you got it. Hold on.
Yeah,
I got you.
Move me up.
Hold on. Let's see.
It's the only way.
Oh, hold on.
No.
There you go. Now give her the side eye. No, she's beside you.
No, what? She's
I moved her.
What the hell are you talking about? Christina's out to the side of me.
Oh, sorry. You're side-eyed and Sarah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Why would I side-eye Christina?
I don't know.
What the hell is wrong with you?
That's. I think there's a long answer to that.
Anyway, are you guys all there?
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
We've lost Brad.
Oh, the symbiotes are attacking. Okay, we back?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I've got a segue. What was the last thing? Why would I side eye Sarah? Someone I've had my eye on for 20 years is about to join us. We have Mrs. Crawlspace. What's going on?
Hey! Wait, Mrs. Crawlspace, you went and saw Venom as well?
Yes.
Oh my God, this is gonna be so much fun.
Now, just to give Wendy a little bit of a background, she's not seen Venom 1 or 2.
Oh.
You took her to see the third one?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
I haven't seen number 2. I saw the first one, but I haven't seen number 2.
Okay. Well, has the rest of the panel seen all 3 movies?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I had legitimate questions going into 3 that I think 2 would have answered, but I managed to get through it somehow.
Now, Mrs. Crawlspace, why would you go see Venom 3 without seeing 1 and 2?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
So you don't get fined. Wendy, are you okay over there? Blink
twice.
Blink 3 times if you need assistance. If you need us to call the popo.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. Someone asked me to go and offered me lunch.
Do you like those moments where Brad asks you to share his nerddom with him?
Sure. Yeah.
You know, hey, I'm trying to share my geeky world with you. Do you relish those moments, or do you look forward to them with terror?
Yes.
This is where you bring up Punisher 2 again. You're like, not this. But...
Oh, yeah. You know, I brought up Punisher Warzone with Wendy, and she has blocked that out. You don't really remember going to this? I know you hated it.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
But the one that sticks in your craw is...
I think the worst one was The Watchmen.
Yeah, she hated The Watchmen.
Mm-hmm.
She hated The Watchmen. But it's all good.
Oh, man, I was in high school when that movie came out. I worked at the movie theater. I worked the midnight showing of that movie. I had no idea how long it was, and I had to go to school the next day. That was ridiculous.
When did that one come out?
In 2009 or 2008, it had to have been one of those.
Yeah.
Or 2007, something like that.
Zack Snyder Watchmen movie. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was grade 2.
You were in grade 2. God.
I enjoyed it for what it was, but at the time we did not know what evil was headed our way.
Yeah.
We were watching evil form, and we were kind of clueless to it. It was. I look back at that time and say, if we had known what we know now, somebody could have stopped Zack Snyder.
Maybe. I had no idea what the storyline was going in, and so
of Watchmen, right?
It was not a hero movie for me at all. I probably needed some more time to think about it.
Wendy, originally, this will interest you. So like Superman, Batman, all the DC characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Originally, the idea was to tell that story using them.
Mm-hmm.
And Alan Moore, the guy that did it, wound up telling the DC editor, he's like, no, just let me do it this different way with these older characters that no one's going to remember. Because if we do it with Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, people are going to riot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of inside the magic for you, Mrs. Crawlspace.
There you go. I'm noticing it says MS Crawlspace, not MRS Crawlspace. Do I have some papers coming my way? What's happening?
Are you
Quicker to see the movie, Brad. This one's.
This caused a divorce. Oh my lord!
This is like when Jason Sudeikis served Olivia Wilde. divorce papers while she was doing.
Here, I'll grab it from the other box.
Wait, is Tyler not coming?
Tyler has texted me that he's going to be running just a little bit late. Our symbiote expert.
I was about to say, I don't know if we can do this without Tyler.
We can do this without Tyler.
I just want to point out Venom is my second favorite character after Spider-Man, and I'm a huge Venom fan. So you have me.
Okay.
All right. We got you. Okay. What was I going to do? I've got the graphic up here. This is the movie we're going to review, The Last Dance, with Tom Hardy. Michelle Williams was not in this one. She was smart.
I assume she got killed in the second one.
She did not get killed.
Nope.
Oh, well.
No, she just signed a 2-picture deal is what she did, if I had to guess. I thought it'd be good to, off the bat, just go around for grades. Let's start on the bottom right with Josh. What's your grade on this movie?
D.
A D. Sarah?
C+ or B-, like in that realm.
Okay, C+ or B-. George?
I gave it an A.
An A?
I enjoyed this thing, yeah.
Okay. Christina?
I'm not as generous as George, but
I've never heard that phrase ever.
Wow.
But I did like it. I'd give it I'll go in the middle and say B-.
B-. Mrs. Crawlspace, what would you say?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't expect anything going in, so just an average movie, a C.
A C. I would give it a D-.
Oh, thank you, Brad. Finally.
Yeah, I'm with you, Josh. I'm with you, bro. Let's go to chat a little bit. Number one Marvel's fan says the movie was way too campy. By the way, chat, if you would like to let us know what your grade is on the film, I'll pop it up on the screen. He also says too much was going on with the side characters. Didn't George actually like this movie? I can't wait to find out why. He did indeed, Gary. Mrs. Crawlspace, has there ever been a Spider-Man item that Brad wanted and you told him no?
Not that I can remember. But I don't think you usually ask. Hey, guess what I found on eBay last night? I paid $40 for a lunchbox. Okay.
Has there been stuff where he shows you like what he bought, or like when it shows up and at the house and he explains it to you, and you're like, "Wow, we could have bought this or this."
No, because he's pretty frugal too. So he'll say things on eBay, and he's like, "Oh, if we could do anything, here's and yeah." So he sees stuff and just makes up his own mind. But
now, you say Brad is frugal, and I think he's fooled you.
Because
I've done many shows where I question why Brad has bought a book, for example.
Yeah.
And it's clearly something that no one in their right mind.
Now, even though, George, you have got on to this over the last, I'd say 10 years, I've really dramatically cut back my Marvel order.
We've all had to in this trying economy.
I know. Mainly because they just mass produce this stuff. The Venom War recently is an example. Venom.
Hey,
Yeah.
Josh. Let me. That's one thing I wondered, because you're Canadian. You're not like us.
Sure.
Well, I mean,
he's just a northern neighbor. What's going on?
No, he lives in a different country.
I'm aware.
That's all I'm saying. Okay, so when the economy, like, tanks here in the U.S., does it affect Canada as well?
Oh yeah, we get like most of our everything from you guys, but like, I mean, already comics are more expensive. Well, I say more expensive between the dollar exchange rate. Like, you guys pay $4.99, $5.99 for a comic.
Yeah, what are you paying for Amazing? We're $4.99.
Okay, hold on. I always just
I bet you're $6 an issue, if I had to guess.
Yeah, it's $6.97, so it's about $7.
$7 a comic book. My God.
Yeah. So whenever we get one of those like bigger anniversary issues and it's like $10, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be $15 for me.
Oh my gosh. We got Walter in the house. Hello, everybody. I'm sure this movie is 10 stars as long as it didn't come with a Happy Meal deal. Okay. Anyway, good to see you. Black ooze versus green ooze. Which ooze is more oozy on Nickelodeon? Yeah, it was kind of like Double Dare at some point with all this ooze around. I asked Wendy if she wanted to go see this movie, and I said, do you want to watch the other two? She goes, oh, I'm good. It's basically a dude that gets a goose suit, right? And I'm like, yeah. Okay, you've got the plot.
See, she didn't see the first two films.
She did not. She saw Spider-Man 3 in the theater with me, though, so she's seen Venom on the screen. So,
did you enjoy Spider-Man 3 more than this one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Because
there was actually Spider-Man in it. And Tobey Maguire. Yes, Walter, I agree. That needs to be a short. George gave an A to a Marvel product. Yes.
It's not a Marvel product.
It was it was a Marvel Association product.
This is Sony in association with Marvel. Not Marvel Studios, Marvel.
Yeah. Number one Marvel fan wants to know what lunchbox I bought. It's
one
of these right over there. It's the 1976 one and also the 81 with Spider-Man and Hulk on it.
I was gonna say the lunchbox, because there's a few.
There is a few lunchboxes.
Wendy, you're aware of the toilet paper, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think the toilet paper was even before me, or maybe it was somewhere in the mix. But I remember
the matching Kleenex set with the toilet paper was a recent purchase for $40.
Yeah,
I think it was $40. But anyway,
does he ever let you or Ava play with the color form play sets?
No.
Wow. That's your family, Brad.
I was going to say they might be locked up in a safe because I haven't seen those.
Well, one's right over my shoulder here.
I got to see them.
Yeah.
If I was to spend $1 million on Amazing Fantasy 15, now that would cause us financial strife. But Wendy, I have some news. No, I'm just kidding.
Guess what I found on eBay?
Yeah, I had a coupon for half $1 million. Walter says, yes, Josh, you aren't human. You're Canadian. You are nice humans. Venkman says prior to this movie, the highest grade George gave anything Venom related was an F+ for a Venom centric issue of Amazing Spider-Man towards the end of Slott's run.
I don't think towards the end of Slott's run. Never mind. Okay. I was about
Number one Marvel fan says, I only buy Spider-Man collectibles from Secret Wars and older, so 1984. And unless really cool and will buy. So very good, Marvel fan. Okay, so let's break down our opinion on this film. We will start with George for a first pro, because you were, by God, the highest grade of all of us, which is damn shocking. What kind of medication are you on these days?
I'm not on any medication.
Okay.
All right,
what happy pill are you taking?
So with the first Venom movie, right, which made big news here at the Crawlspace when I admitted that I had seen it, but this, and then I liked it because here's the thing: like when I go in and expect something to suck, and then it doesn't suck, I feel I feel good. I feel validated somehow. I feel like the universe has pulled the rug out from under me a little bit, when it's like, ooh, you wanted this to suck, but it's actually not too bad. And then that makes the film actually probably better than it actually is. Now, with this movie, this is a Venom movie that dared to make me feel something. And at the end, I found myself crying a little bit
during the Maroon 5 part.
What? You were crying?
I did. I was tearing up a little bit, and I thought this is actually very poignant.
Are you a super scroll? What the hell? Have you been replaced? Like,
what do you know with the real George?
What? This is the real George. This is me. Damn it.
Okay. Okay. 2 follow-ups to that. What is something that you had high expectations for, but were disappointed?
Oh God. Pretty much anything Marvel has done from Ant-Man onward, or Ant-Man 3 onward.
You had high expectations for Ant-Man 3?
I expected it wouldn't suck, and then when it did, I was like, wow, have we gone wildly off the base with this movie?
All right. Hold on. We have our symbiote expert along with Christina. We have Tyler. What's going on, man?
Thank God.
Tyler, are you there?
God.
All right.
Hello.
So,
oh, there we go.
Okay, there you are.
So, something I expected to not suck, but did suck. Thor 2 wasn't too great. It wasn't awful, but I expected it to be better than it was. Thor 3 sucked.
No, that's the one with the Hulk. That one did not suck.
It was funny, but that's no part of that story should have been funny. Thor loses all of his friends and family. Ha ha.
Yeah, but Hulk smash.
Ha. Okay.
I love Thor 3.
Anyway, yeah. So this is a Venom movie that dared to make me feel something. And I was surprised, and I was a little heartbroken at the end, actually.
Michael McNulty is also suspecting that you may have been infected by a symbiote wearing that shirt.
For the kind of money I paid for snacks, probably. It is highway robbery what they charge for popcorn now.
Chi-Town says George cheers when Tony Stark dies in Endgame, but he cries at the end of this movie.
Well, listen, okay, that's because the MCU, much like the Marvel 616 universe, the comics universe, made me hate Tony Stark. I am somebody who, grew up from the 70s reading things like Avengers and liking Iron Man. And by the time, Civil War was done, they made me hate Iron Man. And here's the thing. Here's a good example, Wendy, of why like Alan Moore didn't do Watchmen with like Superman and Batman and all them. So when you do things like you did with Civil War, and it's actually in the continuity that you're trying to prune and preserve, like a botanist or a gardener or something. There's stuff that happens that from a realistic standpoint, you're reading this and you're like, this should change everything. These characters should not like each other after this.
Yeah.
Like Reed Richards, I love Reed Richards. Reed Richards should be in jail. For all the chlor stuff. So.
We also have Walter saying single tear was due to ingestion from the popcorn.
Well, no, it's because I'll go. I mean, we've all seen it, and I'll go ahead. Anyone in chat, we're going to do spoilers for this thing. Okay. But no, when you realize Venom's dead, like the symbiote is actually dead, I was sad for Eddie Brock.
Let's introduce Tyler. Tyler, what symbiote wear are you wearing today?
Oh, I'm not actually wearing a symbiote. I'm wearing Spider-Man.
Oh, Japanese Spider-Man. All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right. All you've missed is grades. What is the symbiote expert's grade on Venom 3? I'm curious.
This is what I've been waiting for.
Yeah, let's go.
I'll give it a C.
Okay.
It's like,
All right. That's hysterical that you gave it a C. Okay. We have a pro out of George. Mrs. Crawlspace, what would you like a pro? What did you like about the film? One thing you liked.
I don't know. I mean, it kept me awake. I guess.
It held your attention. It didn't bore you to death.
I wasn't expecting anything from it. So
yeah, low expectations, just like George.
Yeah.
Christina, what's a pro for you? What did you like about the film?
It's kind of hard to turn off my comic book brain for the character because of how much I love it. But throughout these films, I do love the relationship between Eddie and the symbiote. That's always something that I think's been great throughout the 3 films, because if it didn't work in that first film, then it would have all completely fell apart. So, still perfect in this movie. So.
Sarah,
in the first movie, it's like, you realize it's like the buddy cop movie that you never knew you needed.
Mm-hmm.
Starsky and Clintar. We have that's a deep cut. Okay, Sarah, what's a pro?
One of my favorite scenes was the whole entire Vegas scene with where he ends up. We're allowed to talk about it, yeah.
Oh yeah, spoilers. Okay. If you've seen the film, or if you've not seen the film, watch this after you've seen the film. Spoilers ahead.
Okay. So like he steals that guy's suit to get into the casino. I thought that was hilarious, and he's like, "No, Venom, no, we can't do that." And then he ends up with Mrs. Chen, and it's like, "What the hell? What is she doing there?" So I thought that was funny, and then the way that scene ended was, I was waiting for
dancing
the next part. Yeah, that reminded me of Spider-Man 3, and I was like, "Oh my god."
Josh, what did you like about the film? One pro.
Oh, the trilogy's over.
Trilogy is over. Yes.
Yeah. No. I honestly, I can't remember most of it.
And it's been a week.
Yeah.
It's been a week, but like it just, even with some of the other Marvel movies we watch, where it's like, oh, this was great, this really sucked. It was more of just like, okay, glad this is done, and move on. Can't wait till Kraven the Hunter.
Brad, hey. I have a message for Wendy from my mother. Who's
mom watching tonight on the chat?
Yeah, she's watching.
All right. Cool.
I like Wendy very much.
Oh, I do.
She reminds me of when I had to review Extraordinary Gentlemen. So back when JR and I were part of that website before Crawlspace, I used to make my mother review stuff because we needed another reviewer, and so I used to make her write reviews. And one of them was she had to write a review of like the second League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, another Alan Moore story, because we mentioned Alan Moore,
which was Sean Connery's last film, right?
No. I'm talking about the comic, not the movie.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the movie. Okay.
No.
And she stayed awake for the I mean, because to me, reading is even harder to stay awake.
Yeah, I mean, she had to. She had deadlines she had to meet. Okay. My God, or there would be hell
the deadline.
Yes.
Mom, I need pictures of Spider-Man.
How did that conversation go? Hey, George, we need another person review. Don't worry, I'll show my mom for this. It'll be fun.
I got my mom.
No, I asked her. Said, hey, do you want to gain notoriety? She was actually printed. Remember CrossGen, the old CrossGen company?
Yeah.
Back in the 2000s. She actually made it onto the back of some of their trade paperbacks.
A quote from your mom is on the back of a trade paperback?
And they called her Ma Webb, which is because Webb is actually her last name. Mm-hmm. Her new married name, and so she would write as Ma Webb, and that's what my friends called her back in the high school.
Ma Webb. Well, hi Ma Webb. Thanks for watching us tonight. That's
cool.
Tyler, pros out of you. What did you like, sir?
I'll say the xenophages. I like as pulling some. It's such a deep cut. It was from a Venom miniseries in the 90s, Venom the Hunted, I believe. It's the only place these symbiote predators have ever appeared. And I thought it was really cool to reach from those and give a Venom a villain that isn't just like another symbiote like Carnage or Riot. And so it's something different. And I thought they were really cool on screen. I thought their look, their fights, and like their wood chipper teeth, basically. And just, I thought they were intimidating, and I really enjoyed them for like.
Did they look like they were supposed to, like from the comic?
Here, I'm getting them.
Yeah. I mean, it's not particularly. There's some similarities, like the 3-pronged tail. They had like and they did sort of like pull themselves together with like stringy stuff, but they were like shapeshifters in the comics. So
this is the thing that was hunting them in the film.
Yeah.
So this guy is what they're supposed to look like.
Not a guy, Brad. They're all women.
All
They pointed that out in the movie.
They did. They did point that out, which is
they're
all
interesting.
females.
Yep.
I missed that.
It was a short line.
They don't need no man, Jomo.
And I have another big pro.
Okay, got it.
We're allowed to go full into spoilers, right?
Oh yeah, full steam ahead.
Right near the end, when there's a helicopter like shooting the xenophages, he comes out, crashes the helicopter, and Rex suddenly goes, "Thompson's down!" And then the xenophages makes a point to, instead of wood chipping him like all the other guys, it just like chews on his legs for a little bit, and then they specifically make a point to show that this legless soldier has survived, and they like place him in a car, and they're like he's
What?
still alive.
Yeah,
Get him
yeah.
out of here.
Flash
So-
Thompson's in the film?
I was going to ask you about that.
There's a masked soldier that's just called Thompson, and he's specifically shown getting his legs bit off and surviving. So they seem to be kind of setting up Agent Venom for the next one. So if I could get that, that'd be awesome. Like, even though I'm sure it's going to be a trash Sony movie, but you know,
That's the world we live in now, Tyler. It's a trash
Yeah, it
Sony
is.
world.
So we could see Agent Venom, Flash Thompson, Spider-Man's bully. We've seen him in the Andrew Garfield films. We've seen him in the Tobey Maguire as Flash Thompson. He eventually becomes Agent Venom, which is Tyler's favorite version. Oh, there you go. How about him as Agent Venom? He was in the Maguire movies.
I actually really like the Amazing Spider-Man actor who was.
Which one was that?
Chris Zilka.
Yes.
Oh, Chris. Oh, okay. This is the actor that bullied Andrew Garfield. So you would like him as oh, that looks, the internet's already trying to team that up.
But yeah, so that was just a so unexpected moment in the movie, and they specifically pointed it out if you're listening. So it's just like,
Did not see that.
I missed that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did
Deep
too.
cut.
Wow.
I have another pro, Brad.
Okay, go ahead.
So the big selling point, the thing that guaranteed that I saw this in the theater,
Yeah.
was Juno Temple and Clark Backo. We're going to be in it, and Juno Temple, I'm a big fan of. If you've seen her before, she's popped up in a lot of stuff here and there.
Oh, yeah.
Over
She's
the
from
years.
Wendy and I are watching Ted Lasso.
Yeah, she's in Ted Lasso.
Okay. Good.
And she was in a what really made me a big fan of hers was she did a show on Paramount Plus called The Offer, which is about the story of the making of The Godfather.
Oh, yeah.
And
With
she's in
Miles
there.
Teller. Yeah.
She's in there, and yeah, she plays like Miles Teller's kind of not. I don't want to say assistant, but assistant. But she is so good in that, and I was like, oh my god, she's. That's when I became a big fan of hers. Now Clark Backo, who played Sadie Christmas. Now, are these actual characters, Tyler? and
Is this
Christina?
him to the left of who you're talking about? This guy,
No.
right?
No, Clark
Oh.
Backo is a girl. Clark Backo, here. I'll put it in chat, Brad. I'll
Clark
put it in chat.
Backer,
Clark
Venom. I got it. Let's see.
Backo.
Oh,
There
she
you go.
became a symbiote. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, she was Sadie Christmas is what she is her name in the movie.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
Is she now are her and Dr. Teddy Payne, that's who Juno Temple played, are they actual Venom like characters from over the years
Tyler,
in the comics?
Christina?
Teddy Payne is an amalgamation of two different characters in the comics that are in the Venom comics, and then Sadie is a character that came in the comics later on, not too long from now. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Now when Sadie Christmas got a symbiote,
Sounds like a golden book story. When
Every-
Sadie Christmas got a symbiote.
every time somebody in the movie got a symbiote, I was like, oh, that's probably a symbiote that's named in the book somewhere that Tyler knows or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, it just so happens I knew this was coming up. Are we ready, Tyler? I've closed my tabs.
But
Give me a
to
minute.
continue on with my pro, I was very happy with their performances in the film, and I thought that they both had a good amount of screen time to kind of shine. I became a fan of Clark Backo on a series called Letterkenny. Josh probably knows what that is.
And Christina and Tyler and the rest of you, Screen Rant had a really good article explaining who these symbiotes are. So let's go over them a little bit. Help me out, y'all. All of the symbiotes. Oh, no. That's the very
That one's
Spoiler alert, most of them are OCs.
Original characters, really?
Most of them are original.
Okay.
Maybe some of them could kind of be representing some of the Life Foundation ones, but yeah.
And it's been a minute. Was he in the second one with Carnage?
He
This guy?
was.
Patrick
Yes.
Patrick Mulligan, yes, and then he got a symbiote at the very end. You saw his eyes like swirl.
They
I was
did.
kind of
So
I was kind of lost when this guy popped up because I didn't see the second one, and I was like, "Oh, look, it's that guy that played Al Capone from Boardwalk Empire."
Well, we'll talk about this when we get to the cons, but what happened was that it was implied that the toxin symbiote had left
Yeah.
him at the end of the movie, and then they injected
let's
him with
just
a brand
jump right
new
into
one.
that right now because
Okay, go ahead.
so supposedly he gets bonded to Toxin, who is Carnage's spawn, but then right at the beginning of the movie, they're like, that symbiote just left him, so we just injected him with a new green one.
Yep.
Oh.
So
That's kind of weird.
I said going into Venom 3, it's like, if I get at least a cool looking on-screen Toxin, I'm all for it. And then Toxin just doesn't show up in the movie. Toxin's like, I'm out of the movie.
And this is what Toxin looks like. He's kind of red, and
They couldn't come to
Carnage
terms.
kid.
They couldn't come to terms with Toxin's agent.
This is Toxin right here too. And
Yes, that is Toxin. And so instead, we just get green snake symbiote man.
Yeah, and then they kill him off.
Yeah, Patrick just gets wood chippered immediately after. So
we also have Agony.
Yes,
So
that is officially Agony.
This is the one George likes from Ted Lasso. There she is in the comics, right?
Somebody else is Agony though in the comics, but yes.
Who's Agony in the comics?
There's two different ones. The current one is named Gemma. I don't remember the original Agony's name.
Okay.
Why does she have fire boobs?
Fire boobs.
Fire boobs.
Yeah, look, it's flames.
That might be one of her more recent looks in the comics that they did. So.
Oh yeah, no, that looks like Bagley.
That's
that looks
original.
like
Yeah, that's her original design.
Yeah. And no electricity.
She does not have random flash super speed powers in the comics. No.
Right.
I have no idea where that came from.
Yeah, that was kind of different. Let's see. We got Lasher. I know Lasher from the
Yes, Lasher. Sadie was a little girl in the Absolute Carnage Separation Anxiety, when it's like the family got bonded to the Life Foundation symbiotes, and Sadie was the little girl who got bonded to Lasher in that. So they just aged her.
Cool. She looked like she had tentacles coming out and she could stab. That was kind of neat.
Yeah,
I enjoyed like when they revealed that she had a symbiote in her.
Yeah, that was
when
when she showed up as She-Venom for 2 seconds.
That was cool.
When Homeboy was going to shoot Eddie.
Phage evidently is floating.
Yeah, there's a symbiote that sort of looked like he sort of had some spikes. It could have been Phage. It's unclear.
Right. And Phage is kind of like the brown or the orange symbiote, huh?
He just orange Carnage, sort of.
And this is a 30-year-old character. Didn't he first appear in the Lethal Protector miniseries?
Yeah, just with all the other Life Foundation ones. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got? We got Venom, frogs, dogs, and cows, and pigs, and chickens, and
I like the frog. I enjoyed the Venom.
Yeah,
here's your Venom frog.
Yeah, the credits were full of Venom animals for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Venom penguin in the credits.
Did you like the Venom horse?
It was amusing.
I liked it.
I didn't hate it.
We got and the cockroach.
And the
Now, I thought that's a big con for me. Wendy and I waited 15 minutes for a cockroach to appear on the screen. Why did it? Even the guy next to us, Wendy, was like, that was dumb.
I think it's the show that it's to give him a backdoor to let Venom back.
Yeah, it's an implication that Venom might have survived because they talked about how cockroaches can survive anything.
I know. And here's the theory of what happens next. That cockroach gets sucked up by the Beyonder and goes to Secret Wars. And Tom Holland
they bonded to Thompson.
They bonded to Thompson. That's what you want. How do they get the symbiote to Secret Wars, or even do they get the symbiote to Secret Wars on Tom Holland?
I don't know if Sony wants to play ball with, or Marvel. I don't know if they want to play ball with Sony. That's the thing, because it's kind of a mess because Sony is trying to force this stuff. Like, I think they want Knull to be their new Thanos, to be Sony's version of Thanos. They're like, we want a big bad. Yeah, I know. It's very laughable, but they want Knull. So they're like, Marvel, we got Knull. We can do a team up here with. But I think Marvel's going to say, no, we got our own plan. You just do whatever you want. And so we're going to have Madam Web, Morbius, and Venom versus Knull, I guess.
Well, I mean, they're going to have to find a new Madam Web. There's no way. There's no way that Dakota Johnson's coming back.
What did we think of Knull?
He had nice hair. Literally, that's all you see from the character is just him staring down. You know,
He's certainly an exposition machine.
Yeah.
he's good at that.
Yeah.
And they start the film with him.
it's
Right.
like if you had read The Death of Superman and all you saw was like the build up of Doomsday, and then they never had Doomsday come out and fight Superman.
There was no payoff for that character.
No, there was not.
And it
like I
doesn't-
said, they're
Go
trying to
ahead.
set him up as their big bad. So it's like, looks so cool.
His
Well,
big
they're
bad for who's gonna fight him? Morbius, Morbius and Craven and the Rhino and Vulture.
and Sony executives. I don't understand. Like they're trying to do what they did with Thanos, right? They're trying to like, ooh, Knull's coming.
And your Venom actor just quit. Your Venom actor's like, I'm out. This is 3 movies. I'm done. Good night, everybody.
Wendy, did you have any idea who that Knull guy was, or why we started the film with him?
I didn't, and that whole part just seemed to be kind of like a page out of the script of Transformers. Like this team was looking for that team, and these were the bad guys, and this was the good guy.
Yeah,
And
that's fair.
so that just seemed to be. I mean, I didn't get him at all, and especially at the end, I was like, did he win? Did he lose?
How was he able to sit? How was he able to get out of that place? Like
With his
he
legs?
sent
He
his
needed,
little.
he needed the Codex.
Yeah.
those-
What did he, I don't understand the ending. So he sent his little dogs out to go get the Codex, and then at the very end of the film, the symbiote died. So the Codex died, right? Or
Well,
came
if
back to
there's-
him.
Supposedly.
If there's still a piece of Venom,
He didn't die.
he didn't
Yeah.
die.
But at the end of the day, Knull's just like nothing. Knull gets to do nothing. He's like, well, I'm still here. Just
Right.
Didn't he imply he's getting the hell out of there?
no, he's just like, I'm awake now. Except he was also awake at the beginning, so I don't know why he said that.
Right.
I was
Yeah.
not awake towards the end. I mean, my God.
So is the idea that the cockroaches have the Codex? I never understood exactly what the Codex was.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say what a codex is the host and the symbiote get it if the symbiote brings the host back to life. So
Okay.
because Eddie Brock died at the end of the Venom film and Venom was able to bring him back. So once Eddie was brought back to life, that's when they got the codex. So the host has to die and bring them back to life by the symbiote, and that's how the codex is formed.
Okay, I remember that part now. I had
So
just
the
forgotten
Codex is like the little swirly red thing that
Mhm.
Yeah,
like the
basically
what
the
are they-
base of your spine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like a tracker eventually. That's how they tracked him, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So and why did Knull put that in Venom? I don't
He didn't
understand.
put it. Venom just created it when he brought back Eddie to life.
that. But why does he need it?
That'll free him from his symbiote prison because the symbiotes
Yep.
all imprison him in their planet of just surrounded by symbiotes, and he can only get out if he gets a codex.
Yep.
So
That's
weren't you listening to the like 10 minutes of exposition they continue to dump
Yeah.
at you multiple times in the movie?
I just don't think it was a good way to start the film. I don't think it grabbed me. It was, and I don't think the payoff of him was very good either. Like
'Cause
nothing
there was no
changed.
payoff.
There was no payoff.
It's just build up for a future Sony plans
It's
that
a
are going
filler,
to
yeah.
dive and bomb.
What
And
is
let him-
Sony's plan with this guy though? I don't get it. I don't
Brett,
like.
there is no plan.
No, yeah.
They made Madam Web. Of course, there's no plan. Like,
No, he's the main villain of the Sony universe of Marvel characters.
yeah, the Sinister Six is going to fight him. Whoever the
Yeah.
hell that
That's
is.
what I was gonna say. Yeah.
That's, the Sinister, what would the great value version of Sony's Sinister Six be? You'd have like
Raven, Rhino.
even
Vul-
Morbius.
Yeah, Vulture.
Yes.
Vulture
Right.
somehow got
Yeah.
transported.
No, Michael
to
Keaton's
Morbius.
too good for that.
I mean, Michael Keaton will show up for a paycheck, Brad.
Yeah.
He's an actor. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like
Batman
Michael
again.
Keaton.
He did Beetlejuice. He just wants to get paid.
Yeah. We got Chi-Town saying boob socks and fire boobs. Haha, only on the crawl space.
I enjoyed Beetlejuice.
Citros wants to know where's JR. JR has not seen any Sony film.
Yeah, there's
Not even.
Oh.
And he's not even seen the good Sony film, the animation ones. So Mike McNulty. Oh, Sony was totally going. Knull is the new Thanos of our Spider-Man cinematic universe without Spider-Man, and will be the big bad of Spider-Man 4, aka brand new home. I think it's called Brand New Day. I think is what they've been talking about.
Yeah, I saw that
Spider-Man
rumor
Kingdom.
recently, and if it's called Brand New Day, I'm gonna have a lot of trouble seeing it.
Yeah, that has flashbacks for bad times. Do we have any other pros before we go to the cons of the film? Who has some?
Oh,
Go
yeah,
ahead,
I
Christina.
have one. Oh,
I'll
go
get
ahead,
you
Christina.
titled. Christina, go ahead.
I was gonna say that Kelly Marcel, who wrote all the Venom films, and this was her first time directing. I thought the fight scenes were pretty good for her never directing.
Yeah, you say she was a producer on the first two?
She wrote all 3 Venom
A writer.
films, and she was a first-time director on this movie. So,
Okay.
And I think she's like friends with Hardy.
yes,
Yeah, I saw that.
Also,
too.
yeah.
What's her name? I'll get a picture of her.
Kelly Marcel.
Let's see. Yep, there she is at the premiere. So she is the director, and
Yeah, she did a fine job for I mean,
first time directing.
Yeah,
these are some of the better Sony films. Now that's not a hard bar to eclipse.
Very
Right.
low bar.
yeah.
All right. And Tyler, you had some pros before we
Yeah,
move on to
I'll
cons?
give props to Chiwetel Ejiofor, I believe his name is pronounced.
Mhm.
It's the actor for Mordo from the MCU. And I thought he played Rex, who is actually technically from the comics. He was from Cates' run as he was a soldier from Vietnam. He got basically like bond with the symbiote, and the symbiote carried on his essence. But anyway, I thought his character was great. I thought he did great acting. I liked his sacrifice at the end. And also,
What's his name?
Chiwetel Ejiofor. Just look up Mordo actor MCU. You'll find him.
Mordo. Okay.
Yeah, but
Oh, this guy.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
He was a soldier.
I also thought he was totally in the right for wanting to kill Eddie or the symbiote, because it's like that would just literally solve all their problems if he did that. So like,
Question about this scene. So,
Oh yeah, they kind of retconned that, eh?
yeah.
little
So they
Um,
at one point he's in the Tom Holland. Eddie's in the Tom Holland universe,
right.
and there's symbiote on the table.
Yeah.
Did he collect it from the Tom Holland universe, or
No.
did he
No.
collect it from the Venom universe?
Eddie suddenly got pulled back into a different portal for some reason
Yep.
that I assume was
He
supposed to
got
be the
portaled
MCU
this
portal.
time, not
And
dusted.
so he got portaled away and then back in his universe. And that's where he met the long-haired version of the bartender. And
Yep.
that's where he left him a coin. So as far as we know, that symbiote should still be in the MCU.
Yep.
And this
Okay.
is just a separate symbiote trace that he
Okay,
left.
so the cockroach is not going to hop on Tom Holland, possibly.
It should not.
So
Right.
we've got two.
in,
We've got
in the
two
bar in Mexico. Is that where he was?
We've got 2 Venom
Yes.
remnants now. One in
Okay.
the MCU, and then one in the Sony MCU.
So we got to go to the MCU bar in Mexico for Tom
Yes.
Holland. What are the odds Tom Holland goes down to a bar in Mexico?
I mean, look, if you're
But
the
they took it
Beyonder,
all
maybe
to
you just
Area
wanna go chill.
51.
Oh, well,
Yeah, in the Sonyverse, they took it to the 51. Yeah.
yeah, but in Tom Holland's, he's still in the bar, crawling around. He didn't get captured, right? In Tom Holland's universe.
Right.
No, we don't know what happened to that bit yet. So
So it could hop on something and get to New York, I guess.
Mhm.
If you wanted.
yeah, the Beyonder goes chilling in Mexico. You know.
There you go. All right, time for the cons. Let's do
Do
Josh.
we have time for that? Because there's a lot.
Josh and I had letter D grades, so let's hear Josh's big cons.
There was a lot. Like, I don't think this movie was actually like they're all pretty campy, and I think Tyler said it on the first Venom review that we did here, that like if you kind of go into it accepting it for what it is, then it's somewhat more enjoyable. Even for that, in doing that mindset, this one wasn't as good in my opinion. Like, but even the jokes weren't as funny. There was a lot of people in my theater laughing at points that weren't supposed to be funny, like the last Maroon 5 song at the end there.
Oh, I laughed because that was so dumb.
That was so
Yeah.
embarrassing.
Here's to the one, come on.
Oh gosh. Yeah. That I don't think George, who did you say that? Juno or some?
Juno Temple was Dr. Hang on.
Teddy
I had-
Payne.
Yeah, Teddy Payne. And Clark Backo was Sadie Christmas.
I didn't enjoy the Juno's performance there. I don't think it seemed a little grade 11 drama class acting wise.
No, that's fair. You want to fight me? Because I'll fight you. I mean, I feel that strongly about it. We can. I'll drive to Canada to beat your ass.
Wow.
Um,
I think she could fight you all. She looks pretty tough. Look at her at the premiere. Her Venom outfit.
But yeah, no, I mean, like, honestly, the biggest, like, honestly, the only pro in the movie was like, I can't wait to talk to Tyler about this. Find out.
Tyler, is Juno's character new to the film, or
As far as I know, yeah.
Okay, just a new
She's new.
character. Okay.
She hasn't been in any of the other Venom movies. Well, I hadn't seen. If she had been in Venom #2, I would have paid the price to buy it on Amazon Prime to see it. That's been my now. If I had the access to see Venom 2 without having to, actually buy it on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it's not streaming anywhere.
It's not streaming anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's that's because I think it's on Netflix.
It's not.
And it's not. I don't know where it is right now.
It's not anywhere. I couldn't find it anywhere.
So they just want you to pay the exorbitant cost before the third part comes out, which is like I don't know. That's like the antithesis of like preparing for the new movie. You should the movie before should be readily available if you want to see it.
Here's a con I'd like to go with.
Uh-oh.
At the end of was it Venom 2 where he saw Tom Holland on the screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a tease for a Spider-Man Venom, some sort of team up or meet up or something. He licks the screen where Tom Holland reveals his identity and he's on the screen. At the end of Far From Home, we have a symbiote crawling at the end of Venom 3. That is a tease for some sort of Spider-Man connection. Venom 3 comes out and we're like, all right, you've been teasing me for 2 films with some sort of Spider-Man connection.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely nothing. There was no payoff. There was no end of the trilogy. Tom Holland had Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield show up. What did Venom have? A frog. I mean, come on.
To be fair,
okay.
I don't think Sony's completely in control of that one.
Yeah.
This is Marvel slapping their hand away, saying, "No, you don't get that."
Well, why would Marvel approve the licking of the television screen at the end of 2, saying he looks? What did Venom say about Tom Holland in the end of Venom 2? He looks fun, or he looks mean, or what does he say?
That guy, and then he licks the TV like he wants that guy.
Right, they want to fight. I want to see that. But why would Marvel approve that tease, and why would Marvel approve putting a symbiote at the end and Tom Hardy at the end of Far From Home, and then just not have anything to pay off?
I think, and part of it has to deal with a whole bunches of contracts and who's allowed what. But you can tell even down to the suit, Sony owns it. Like when you go to Disneyland, not World, Land, where Marvel's Spider-Man is there, it has to be the What If suit. It's not the Homecoming suit. It's not the No Way Home suit because it's Marvel's Spider-Man suit, not Sony's Spider-Man suit. So it has to, like, Sony.
What is Sony's Spider-Man suit?
Any of the other ones, but it's why when the What If series came out, Spider-Man had a slightly different suit.
Yeah, slightly different emblem. It's tweaked from his original Homecoming suit.
Silver web suit. It just has to be different. It's a different suit because that's Marvel's Spider-Man suit, not Sony's Marvel.
Oh, so the webs are. Oh, this is Sony's Spider-Man suit or Marvel's suit with the with the web, like
this one. That's Marvel's Spider-Man suit, and you'll see it if you type in like Disneyland Spider-Man.
You know what? That works. That works out though because all of the Sony suits have been better than the MCU suits, save for the one at the end of like No Way Home. You know, like I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I enjoyed. I didn't have a. Let me walk that back. I like the suits and the Raimi films, and the Amazing Spider-Man 2 had, I thought, what was the best suit that Sony had up to that point. The one from Amazing Spider-Man 1 was complete ass. It was a trash fire, but the second one was really strong. And then look at, I mean, compare that to what the MCU did. Iron Spider suits.
Yeah.
the asinine Civil War Doc Ock Iron Spider crap, with the legs and all that unnecessary bullshit.
But even like a boot or somebody swinging above or some sort of Spider-Man tease was a build-up. That's why I just thought it ended. I guess I did like the sacrifice a little bit, where the symbiote was a hero that made George tear up, which I can't believe I'm saying. But the Spider-Man connection is just what got what I wanted.
You know what it was, Brad? Well, you say that to make fun of me and mock me in a way. Is that I'm someone who's lost a friend. I lost a really good friend of mine back in like '93, and I kind of put myself where I didn't put myself there, but I kind of was drawn there where Eddie was, because you could tell Eddie missed his friend. Yeah. Eddie was lonely now. Eddie, was not married, didn't have kids. Yeah, I kind of I saw myself a little bit in Eddie.
Before I close this tab, because I probably will never find this image, what is this thing over at Disney World? This is adorable.
It looks like
little
Spider-Man.
plush.
Whoa.
So cute. What?
That's an unfortunate placement of thumb in that picture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Hey, why are you so happy about it?
Oh, hold on. Let's see.
No, why are we making it big?
Oh my goodness.
It's so cute. Okay, sorry.
Brad, you're a horrible man.
Wendy, that was the equivalent of me going squirrel.
It happens a lot.
I know.
A lot.
Oh, you're speaking to the choir, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Spider-Man connection. The what else was my big comment?
Is that like the Rainbow Connection?
Why are there so many symbiotes on Eddie? I didn't laugh one time except what Josh just said with the Maroon 5 song coming on. I didn't laugh one time.
Was this supposed to be a comedy, film? Was this supposed to be
it's a buddy cop film where the two are supposed to be fun together. They were fun in the first one.
Yeah, the first two have a lot of amusing points in them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
I laughed so hard when that song came on. I started crying. And people were like staring at me.
bad placement of that song. It didn't work.
No.
And we all knew the symbiote's not dead either. So the ending just was like,
Right.
And what was the other? There was something else that I just hated.
Well, he is dead. He's dead in the way that like the first Groot was dead. Which, by the way, later on, I came to learn that that was actually that the new Groot we have is literally a new Groot, like an independent Groot. It's not the same Groot.
I thought I thought that was the same Groot too.
So in that sense, yeah, the first Venom is dead.
Okay.
Gave its life in that really interesting visual effect sequence.
Andre in chat, I'd like to be friends with George.
I guarantee if we were friends and then I died saving your life, you would go to the Statue of Liberty and look at it and think, man, I wish George
Fight. Mike McNulty says, as far as we know, it wasn't captured in the MCU. If Spider-Man 4 ever comes out, watch it be revealed it escaped from a SHIELD lab.
What you wanted being Stark Tech? Stark was working on. God damn.
No cameos from Michelini or McFarlane. No, but they were mentioned in the credits.
I don't think they could meet McFarlane's asking price.
Todd McFarlane went on the press and met Tom Hardy for the first time when they were doing press.
When they were
McFarlane
doing
came back, and I think it was at New York Comic Con. Come to think of it.
Oh, was it?
Walter has a suggestion of how Tom Holland gets a symbiote. Tom Holland goes to the bar to drink and remember the uncle that he had an uncle. Grout? Did we go?
Groot.
No, Groot, not Grout.
Yes,
Grout.
Do we go on a Groot?
That's what if Groot came from Home Depot? I am Grout.
What if Groot was coal lumber, just hanging out in the back in a bin?
Yeah. All right, cons. Sarah, what do you got for the cons? What's some of your big cons?
I'm trying to think of something that hasn't been said. Because those are some of the bigger ones I had. I didn't like that there was no payoff with Knull.
Yeah,
I know
no
that was
payoff.
said, but that was a
Nope.
really big con for me.
No payoff with Knull or Spider-Man.
Yeah. I think that's all that's coming to mind right now that hasn't been said, so I don't want to repeat anything.
Christina, what's something con-wise for you?
Okay, I rewatched.
Did you just knuckle crack like
Yes,
you've been
yes,
bleeding?
yes, I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right, let's go.
Ready.
Let's go.
Anyway, because I didn't want to forget it.
Okay.
I rewatched Venom and Let There Be Carnage before I went to go see the movie, and they had such a hard time over there at the Life Foundation trying to achieve symbiosis with people. All of a sudden in this movie, all these people can do symbiosis with these symbiotes, and they can all
They don't care about the rules of these movies.
Yes, no, we don't, because I had said in my Facebook post that they didn't follow through with some things that they did in the first movie, like with what they did with Toxin, and then this nonsense, and it's like, and then
I didn't even think of that.
and then I wanted to mention too the fact that they just Let There Be Carnage, they just kill off Carnage, and then in this movie they just kill off Patrick Mulligan as Toxin, and they don't do anything with them. It kind of seems like wasting them and stuff. So, and then
refresh me, because it's been a few years since I saw Venom 1 and 2. So not everyone can bond to a symbiote. Some of them died in experiments, if I remember correctly. Is that right?
Most of the people they experimented on the first movie all died.
All the homeless people that were their bodies were like rejecting the symbiote.
That's right. That's right. I remember that.
And then this mysterious organization that we saw in the movie, it didn't go anywhere. I don't know if we're to assume that the general that visits Eddie at the end of the movie is the head of that organization or whatever, but they did absolutely nothing with that, because Strickland is working for the guy that we see with the silhouette, but then that doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, the Imperium, whatever that means.
So,
right.
Are we up to 4 payoffs that went nowhere? I'm counting.
No, there was another one, and that was my con, but you skipped over me.
I'm going in different order. I'm going in different order. I'm mixing it up.
That was when I was
Mr. A, chill with a C. All right. Go ahead, Christina.
Yeah, and then we talked about the post-credit scene already. I scribbled a whole bunch of notes last week so I didn't forget anything. So I'm trying to see. Yeah, we
that would have
talked.
been smart.
Yeah, and then
thing.
then we talked about how the portal was different, that he went back into his homeworld form because, like Josh said, he like turns into this energy when he's teleported back to his world, and then in this movie they just ignore Spider-Man. They ignore Anne Wenning too, by the way. She's not even mentioned in this movie. Right. And so the portal was changed and stuff. But I think we talked about everything, all the complaints I had with Toxin and them not even following through what they set up before and stuff. So it's like, yeah, I think I got it.
All right. Tyler, let's go to you.
Big con. I thought the pacing was not good. I thought there's so many times it slows to a crawl. And just because of the exposition, and then we suddenly have to
Crawlspace.
Yeah, unfortunately not. Because I enjoy this more.
Oh God, Brad.
But no, so not only is it slow to a crawl, but they're like, oh hey, here's a hippie family. Aren't you so happy?
Oh,
that
the hippie.
Yeah.
I love them. I love them so much.
I just
love
wanted
them.
to crawl all up into a ball of cringe and just stop existing. Just
Real
every
quick,
time they're on screen.
Tyler, we got to. Why of all there's a lot of starving artists. No, wait a minute, those are painters. No, I'm talking about actors that are starving that would love a gig. Why do they cast the same dude that was the Lizard as a hippie?
Sony doesn't care. They got him
right? No, they don't. We've learned this. They don't care.
I mean, anybody could have been a hippie. I mean, they could have cast anyone. George, you could be. No, he couldn't. Why would they? Does it boil down to Sony doesn't care? I mean, he auditioned and you're like, hey,
it absolutely boils down to that. So
he probably. I bet you he mentioned in like No Way Home. Yeah, I'd be down to do more movies for you guys. And they're like, cool, we'll put you in Venom 3.
Listen, how else was Eddie Brock supposed to get to Area 51? Okay, how else, or to New York, where he was originally going? that hippie family needed to be there.
It should have
Did
been
you
like
like the
Cheech and
hippie
Chong.
family
Yes,
scene? I thought it was
yes.
dumb.
No,
I thought it was so stupid. It was awesome.
It was very
And then
stupid. I'll give you that.
And then the little kid gives him the chocolate, and he's like, "Oh, my friend really likes chocolate."
I like
And-
the kid thing.
Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was great.
And then the one when another line I liked was when Eddie basically lied to the kid and was like, "Oh yeah, aliens aren't real," and then Venom was like, "You would make a good dad."
But it had a good payoff later too when the kid met Venom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That was
Oh.
another poignant moment, I thought.
I have
Yeah, but
another con, but I'll let.
Yeah,
I'll
because
save it
this
for
is
the rest.
going into another con. Because after the whole hippie thing, then we go into the Vegas, and I didn't like any of Vegas. I like seeing Miss Chen, but then suddenly Venom, who's like said, Eddie, I need to keep you safe. I can't appear.
know.
He's like, now he's suddenly like, I want to dance, Eddie. It's like, what?
Oh,
so-
that was so dumb.
And so he directly contradicts himself just because he wants to dance randomly, despite knowing that screws them over. And so we get a terrible cringe scene of him dancing to an ABBA remix.
Oh yeah.
Okay, listen. All right, listen. All
When
right,
ABBA came on, I thought of you and JR, George.
let me explain the symbiote's mindset in that situation.
Oh, I've
all
never
right?
thought I'd hear this crap.
All right. So yeah,
Jesus.
the symbiote
Symbiote
knows.
with George, new podcast coming 2025.
The symbiote knows, that it can't Hulk out, for lack of a better term, without, giving away their location, which is ultimately what happens, because you have to move the plot forward. But he was just really excited about seeing Mrs. Chen, and who wouldn't be?
And what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So if he wants to do a dance number and do some slot machines at Paris, who are we to judge him? Okay.
Trust me.
Yeah.
If the phage hadn't come along, there was going to be more with Mrs. Chen and Venom.
If this is your defense of the scene, I'm
Oh
really
my
glad you
gosh,
guys
George.
aren't lawyers, because
Good
this is a
Lord.
terrible defense.
Tyler, I saw the same thing. Hey, we're going in witness. Can you imagine? Okay, remember the movie The Fugitive with Harrison Ford? He's on the run from Tommy Lee Jones. Can you imagine if at the middle of the movie Tommy Lee Jones goes, "You know what? Let's go do a dance number in the middle of The Fugitive because Tommy Lee Jones will never see me." I mean, come on. It was so dumb.
I mean, literally, the movie's called The Last Dance, Brad.
Well,
Which
There's got to be a dance in there
that's
somewhere.
why they named it that.
Thank
Was
you.
that nonsense?
Yeah, no, there's got to be a dance in there somewhere. What's it going to be like? What they're doing, like a little hustle while
who sang The
Eddie's-
Last Dance? Was that Donna
While-
Summer?
while Eddie's TTing, in a bathroom
Last
somewhere.
Dance. Why
That
wasn't
scene
the
just made me
song The
wanna
Last
shoot
Dance in the
myself.
film?
I was
Probably-
watching the Michael Bublé one.
Probably
It-
too
that's
expensive.
for me.
Any other cons, Tyler?
I mean, there's lots, but I'll let someone else take it over. So.
Wendy, do you have some cons?
I mean, I didn't really get the portal part, and I really enjoyed the Miss Chen scene, but
Okay.
it made me wonder what I missed in the other movies. So
Oh, you had no
maybe-
idea who Miss Chen was, actually,
no,
right?
No, I had no idea. I figured she was some quirky neighbor that, hey, look, it's Miss Chen. And but the one thing that I have is you don't like the Vegas part, but you're also giving it a D because it's not funny. Well, that was the whole insertion of funny there. That was
But it wasn't funny.
It wasn't
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
to me. It
Yeah.
wasn't funny.
I disagree. I thought the Vegas sequence was very funny.
Yeah, exactly.
I
I thought
thought
it was cute. I mean, it was fun for me as a first time viewer. But it was fun enough for me to go, I wonder what happened in 2, or where's Miss Chen from? What's her story? Now I wouldn't sit down and watch it. I don't have that much laundry to fold.
Well, and I was thinking, when did they film this part of the movie? Because I missed out on an opportunity here.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, you could have went and saw Miss Chen dance with Venom. Yeah, in Vegas. Yeah.
Exactly.
Miss Chen. So you don't have to watch the first 2 movies. Is a bodega. Is that what they call them in New York? She owns a bodega in New York. So Eddie comes in there. and
San
gets his stuff.
Francisco.
Cisco, yep.
Oh, San Francisco, not New York. Yeah. So that's his favorite bodega owner.
Ah.
Well, at one point he wanted to eat her.
Yeah, right.
He told Venom he couldn't eat Mrs. Chen.
I know. I'm just saying, Venom at one point wanted to eat her. That's like the end of this arc. He went off from wanting to eat Mrs. Chen to it's Mrs. Chen. We need to party with Mrs. Chen. Mrs. Chen is a quality human being.
So Mrs. Chen had a character arc.
Yeah.
She briefly bonded with Venom, and she understands it more.
Yeah.
Venom and Mrs. Chen had.
And Mrs. Chen is an original character to the movies, not from the comics. I'm surprised they haven't introduced her. It'd be an easy way to do it too.
I think they should give her own solo film.
Yeah.
Don't tempt Amy Pascal. She'll do it.
And then have the lizard actor be in there like her son or something. I don't know.
They'll recast her with Michelle Yeoh at this point.
Oh, jeez. George, I'm ready now. Wendy, were you done?
I think so. I don't really remember. I mean, and maybe that's a con, is I don't really remember what happened.
It was a week ago. Very forgettable. Yeah. Very forgettable film, I thought.
Even the best part where I was excited to talk to Tyler, I was like, did you know that Flash was in this? I forgot that happened.
All right, Mr. A, what's your cons?
All right, so real quick before I get to this, Wendy, it seems like you actually liked it more than Brad did. Is that correct?
Because I didn't have any preconceived ideas, and I was not looking for Spider-Man in a Venom movie, which seems to be the one reason Brad was going, is just to get a peek at Spider-Man.
Brad should have known better.
I know. I'm like, he didn't mention to me that Spider-Man was going to be in this movie. He did mention that it was funny, so the humor was off.
I said it wasn't funny. I didn't think it was funny.
No, you did. Before we went, you said, but they're really funny. You're going to find some laughs in this.
Yeah. Because the first two had some legit laughs in it, I thought. Yeah. But this had zip, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right. So my con was you had this really interesting kind of subplot with Eddie. With Eddie's own internal wrestling of what it is, who he is as a person, was when he murdered that soldier under the water. Like he literally killed that lady. I think he shot her in the neck or the chest or something like that. Bam, and she just floats away dead, and it freaked him out. And he mentions it one other time in the movie, and then that's it.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring this up later because I totally agree. Eddie goes I had to kill someone because you weren't there to help me, and he says that, and then nothing comes of it. That's the last time they bring it up, and it's there's something interesting you could do here, and they just do nothing.
Yeah,
that was actually kind of visually cool with the symbiote underwater, going from person to person to get to Eddie. That was kind of. I'll give the director props for that visual and the effects people.
Didn't he go person to frog?
Yeah. Or fish. He went from fish. He went through fish to fly. That was visually kind of cool.
I like that he ate another fish and then got bigger.
Oh yeah. It was like he was Mario and got a mushroom.
Yeah.
do. Okay. Go ahead, George. Sorry.
No, that was really the only thing that stood out for me as a con. Okay. Well, that and I hadn't seen Venom 2, but that's Sony's fault for making ludicrous streaming deals.
Luda. Okay. Sorry. All right, let's go to chat. Do we have any other cons before we go to chat and start wrapping it up? Any other cons? Okay. For Mrs. Crawlspace, triple question time. What's your favorite Spider-Man movie?
I would probably say the first one with Tom Holland, just because I have a huge mom crush on Tom Holland. I want to make sure that he gets plenty of snacks and naps and hugs and that he's well taken care of. But now he's growing up, so that's kind of going away. I'm like, oh, he's just a regular actor. But when he first came in as Spider-Man, I was like, oh, he's so sweet. I hope all his dreams come true. So it's fun to watch him. I really like him. My favorite Marvel movie, I don't know. Maybe one of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Because that's just a rough and tough crew. That's fun.
And your favorite superhero movie?
Gosh, I can't. That's a big question.
Now, keep in mind, those go, the modern era of superhero films goes back to the first Superman.
I was going to say Christopher Reeve, I think, is the very first. Or if you want to go farther back to the 66 Batman film.
That's not so modern. That's 14 years before that.
I really can't think of who my favorites, because I'm sure that later when I have time, it would be someone probably obscure that's just funny. Maybe even like Mystery Men or something stupid.
Ooh, Mystery Men's a great film. I like
Mystery
that.
Men is a legit choice.
Yeah.
That's-
But it would just be something really kind of offbeat that I'm not sure everyone saw. And
Hero at Large with John Ritter probably would
Mm.
count in this assessment, you know?
that's funny.
Like stuff that like you wouldn't normally think of as a superhero movie.
yeah.
All right. Good job. We got Gary in the Frozen. What made George want to go see this movie and not the second one?
Juno Temple and Clark Backo. That was literally the number one reason why I saw it in the theater. Well, that and so we could review it for here because
I think
What
someone's
show
got a little.
did you say they were from, George, on Paramount Plus?
Juno Temple was from a show on Paramount Plus called The Offer,
The Offer. Okay.
and Clark Backo played Rosie, who was Wayne's girlfriend for the longest time, on a show called Letterkenny. It's a Canadian show.
I've seen
why-
Letterkenny.
That's why I said earlier, Josh, would know that.
Just ignore the other Canadian. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot, Tyler. I thought you were in like Reno for some reason. Yeah, Tyler probably knows who.
Oh,
who
man,
she is then
man,
from.
Reno.
Have you seen Shoresy, George?
I have.
Okay.
I'm a Shoresy super fan.
Cool.
Yeah, and so those are on Hulu, by the way, if anybody would like to see
Yeah.
those.
Jeffrey says, great answer, Mrs. Crawlspace. We have another Mrs. Crawlspace question. What is your favorite Spider-Man animated series growing up?
I would probably
Brad's
say
laughing.
the one. This is a hard question for me because I didn't watch a lot of them. But I remember is it Firestar?
Yes!
That was probably the one.
Of
It's
course.
like-
Oh, you just got
It's
the-
Amazing Friends.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that's probably it. But I didn't watch a lot of. The rule in my house is when you get up on Saturday morning, you do chores before cartoons, and so I didn't watch a lot because cartoons were only on till like 10 or 11 in the morning, and I
That's
had
true.
stuff to do.
That's draconian. What,
It's
on
not
Sa-
rule in this house.
I was about to say, well, on Saturday morning when I woke up, I got donuts and chocolate milk and got sat down in front of the TV.
Well, what were you able to watch on Saturday mornings, Wendy?
I don't remember. I'm
Well, you've listed, Amazing Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends.
I remember
Uh,
Scooby Doo a lot too,
Oh, okay.
and probably
Yeah.
the Super Friends.
No, that's DC. No. You
I
think
know.
of Spider
Like,
Friends.
I know.
Well, that doesn't. Now wait a minute. Now I liked Spider-Man, but I used to watch Super
I
Friends
did.
back in the
I
day.
did too.
Mhm.
I know. I'm just giving her a hard time.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy stuff like the Flintstones?
I probably watched them. I remember a lot of Tom and Jerry Looney Tunes. I'd probably
Yeah.
name that way.
Yeah.
Tom and Jerry, probably.
Let's see. Sofala says Spider-Man 2 is his favorite superhero movie. That's probably still my favorite Spider-Man movie
Yeah.
with Doc Ock and Tobey Maguire. Vinkman says I'm the only one on the panel who's hung up on there not being any direct Spider-Man connections in this movie. Well, Sorry.
We all know better.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, here's the thing. My glass. My ass. I mean, my glass. My ass and my glass is always half. No, that's bad. I
Whoa.
shouldn't say that. No. My glass is always half full.
There you go.
And
We
this
couldn't
glass-
go one show without an ass reference. Not one.
Dad's got his butt half full. Got it.
Well, I had some Taco Bell. Anyway,
That's 100% empty. That's everything's empty.
Jeez, I'm so sorry, Mrs. Crawlspace. Let's see. Walter says, didn't know symbiote requires to have big bank accounts to bond. Sounds like my ex-wife. Oh my God. Let's see. Tevia gives it an F because the movie was a train wreck and freaking garbage. And as a fan of the King in Black storyline, they butchered it badly.
Yeah.
Tyler? Yeah.
Like I said, this is barely an adaptation of King of Black because Knull's not even free. So it's
Right.
like
Black
I
would
think
require Avengers and Spider-Man.
the whole problem with doing Knull is that they have to throw all this exposition at you because they haven't bothered trying to explain any of the symbiote stuff at all, and they've like as Christina was saying, they're playing fast and loose with the rules already, and so they suddenly have to introduce a symbiote god. It's like just exposition, like Patrick Mulligan, exposition symbiote, give it to him. Just they just like. They have to throw it all at the wall.
I just think it's awful to start the film with it. It took me out of it right off the first frame of the film. Like, no, what a dark opening. Walter,
Sony's not familiar with that. They did that with Amazing Spider-Man 2, right? His parents are going down the plane, and
it's a very dark opening.
Where's
what,
Spider-Man?
George?
You said that it would take the Avengers to come in and help with Knull. I'm pretty sure if Thor showed up, that would be the end of Knull. That would be
I'm just saying
that's the end of Knull's arc.
The King in Black storyline from the comics had the Avengers and Spider-Man in it. So
good grief, that should have been over fast.
Well, it was at least 30 books.
Yeah.
Well, it's a Marvel event, so half of that is actually 3/4 of that is
Walter says ABBA is badass. Now I'm definitely going to see it. Okay.
ABBA is badass.
I like ABBA too.
You didn't act like it earlier.
I give the movie an F because as a Venom movie, it makes no sense and is freaking garbage. As a huge fan of Knull, it made no sense for him to be in the film. McNulty says, wait, the sonic vibrations from ABBA actually weaken the symbiote? I smell a plot hole.
Once again, Sony doesn't care about rules because if you remember the first Venom movie, a plane flies over his head and the symbiote freaks out and he like drops off the building. But then in this movie, he's literally just riding on the side of a plane. So,
well, I mean, I feel like Venom has learned since then.
No, he doesn't like sonic vibrations.
Yeah,
what's the point of having Knull if nothing happens in the long run? They want something to happen.
Maybe they're, when you're actually riding on the plane, maybe because of the way, how fast you're traveling, maybe you don't really hear the sound as much.
Stop defending Sony, George.
I'm not defending Sony. I'm
apologist for this film.
I just think that attack is bullshit. No.
Right. Jeffrey is criticizing my phrasing.
As he should.
Yep. Oh.
Mr. Comic says, Mrs. Crawlspace, blink twice if you're trapped in the house with a crazy man.
I'll just say he's the one in the basement. So
that's the safest place for him, Wendy.
She's up, in her office, Jeffrey says, Halloween question. Brad, did you and Mrs. Crawlspace ever do couple costumes for Halloween? I don't think we
No.
have.
I don't dress up very much for Halloween, mostly because I just have decision paralysis. I would never be able to pick one person and follow that. I'm the same with gift giving. I'm terrible at gift giving because I can never make a decision. And
if we were to dress in a couple's superhero costume, what could we be?
Kingpin and Vanessa. Sorry.
Yeah, but I was just about to say that.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty good.
So,
Kingpin and Wendy, I gotta show you this. Vanessa,
I saw they just recently showed some stuff from Daredevil Born Again, and it looks like they actually went back and got the original Vanessa to come back.
Yep. They did. Yep.
Because at one point I had heard that they had recast her.
All right.
They did.
There you go.
I actually liked her as Vanessa.
Huh.
Yeah. Oh, and didn't Stan Lee's wife voice Vanessa in the Spider-Man 95?
No. Stanley's wife voiced Madam Web in the cartoon.
Oh, Madam Web. Always back to Madam Web. Tevia, speaking of the symbiotes from Mr. Cross, what is your favorite symbiote growing up? Because for me, that's funny. Hey, Wendy, what's your favorite symbiote?
I actually had never heard of a symbiote until probably shortly after marriage.
I was about to say, he's asking, while you were growing up, and I'm like, well, actually, when the symbiotes came along, you were probably in college, Mrs. Crawlspace. Or
probably, but I had no idea.
Yeah.
See, I was sure she was going to say #1 Mania fan. I was so sure.
Yeah.
Actually, my first exposure to a symbiote was probably the Spider-Man movie.
Yes.
The third,
So 2007.
Although technically, how old would you have been in the mid 80s? Because technically, that's the first symbiote appearance that we had was in Secret Wars.
She was in college. No, I mean in high school.
High school, yeah.
It took Venom using both the Silver Surfer's board and Thor's hammer to defeat Knull. Yes, Eddie Brock was worthy to carry Thor's hammer. George, reaction.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, I thought so.
While bonded the Uniforce, he was Captain Universe while that happened. So,
Tevi,
I don't know what's happening, but that sounded like fighting words to me.
Brad, Mrs.
Yeah,
Crawlspace, I'm wondering what's your favorite Spider-Man story growing up? Because for me, it's Spider-Girl Mayday Parker.
Yeah, some shit just went down there, Wendy.
Yeah.
Wendy is not a comic book reader, but she can talk the films. She's seen almost every Marvel film, and we kind of talked about what's your favorite.
Yeah, I can't think of a favorite Spider-Man story growing up.
All right, let's do final thoughts. We will start with Tyler. Tyler, final thoughts on Venom: The Last Stand, and do you want Venom 4, and what does it involve?
okay. So, final thoughts.
Yeah.
I went into this with a little more tempered expectations because I've seen the first two, so I sort of knew what to expect going into it, and I was still left kind of disappointed because I feel like what worked about the first two is that it was a funny relationship between Tom Hardy and the Venom symbiote. They played off each other well, and then and this one just I feel like I didn't get enough of that. Like Eddie Brock just seems sort of like, rather than just Tom Hardy like hamming it up and going crazy this whole movie, he was just kind of like hung over the whole movie. And then it just so the humor wasn't there for me, and some of the action was good. I like the ending was good with the sacrifice, and that was cool. But it didn't, compared to the first two. I feel like they're bad. All three of them are bad movies. The first two I just found more enjoyable despite their badness, and this one I didn't really get that as much, and so I was left disappointed compared to the first two.
One con I forgot to mention that the visual of Venom is really cool. To see him in the suit, even if he doesn't have the white spider on the front, but they take that away in this film. And he's just a floating head beside him a lot of the film. So I think there's less actual Venom on the screen than the first two films.
It would have been narratively cool and kind of make sense if there was a Spider-Man in this one, that he got the spider in the final film on his chest there.
Oh yeah, wouldn't that been there you go. That would have been a Spider-Man connection. Like he would have seen this television screen. He's like, that's a cool look on your chest. But in the trilogy.
Yeah, so and if we're doing something for another Venom movie, just give me Agent Venom. Just do it. You set it all up. But knowing Sony, they're just going to completely ignore what they set up and do something else.
You think the symbiote's going to be in Secret Wars?
We'll see. I really think they want to do something with the symbiote, and so I'd be down for seeing a better Venom. So,
I mean, that's one of the biggest, most well-known things of the Secret Wars miniseries from the 80s is Spider-Man getting the black suit. And the Russo brothers, the directors, have said that's one of their favorite storylines of all time.
They said. Yeah, that's my favorite costume of all time, and so it'd be awesome to see an accurate representation of that on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's too much of a temptation not to do that. Josh, final thoughts, sir?
I pulled a similar move you did, where I brought my girlfriend to this without showing her Venom 1 and 2. And at the end of the movie, where everyone's going off and all the symbiotes are dying, and then what the purple lightning, the fire boobs one,
Agony.
Yeah, where she like
fire boob chick,
where she like runs off and saves one person. My girlfriend's like, "Oh, thank goodness she's alive." Like, like a similar reaction though. Like, just
she didn't like it either.
No, it's just like, great. Okay, this is at least we're gonna get this continued.
Josh, she saved Christmas.
No,
she saved Christmas.
That's the Grinch. You're watching the wrong film.
No, I don't know. I'm glad this trilogy is over. It ended on probably Venom didn't start on a high note and somehow ended on a lower note.
I agree.
But glad it's over. See you around for Kraven the Hunter, I guess.
Yeah. Sarah, final thoughts.
So I think that reviewing these movies is challenging because of the limitations that are set upon it. You know, for example, not being able to have Spider-Man in the movie, etc., because of the Marvel Sony thing. So that being said, when I went to see the movie, I wasn't sure exactly what to expect compared to the first two. And while it was more campy and there were some things that didn't quite make sense. I still I didn't think it was a waste of money to have gone to see it. So that is my final thought.
Okay. George, final thoughts.
I enjoyed it for what it was. No one was more shocked than me that I enjoyed the first Venom movie. So I was glad that I went to go see this in the theater. Juno Temple and Clark Backo being in it made the film even better for me. That and Mrs. Chen, because I am a confirmed Mrs. Chen super fan now. I don't know. I'm a little sad because now I like the Hardy, Venom. And he's given conflicting answers. He said, no, I'm done with this. I'm walking away. And then he said, well, I could come back. Never say never. So I don't really know where that is. I think that's him saying, oh, hey, yeah, I could do this. I'm going to need a lot more money.
Yeah, it's like how deep are your pockets, Sony? So.
Yeah.
How deep is your love? Sorry.
Another Abba-tie-in.
I know, right?
I think this movie... I think the reaction to this movie from overall, from critics and just the general populace. I'm not talking about us here as Superman Spider fans. I'm talking about the populace in general. I think that it tends to skew negative because people have such a negative view of Marvel stuff and just in general now. And I think that's kind of creeping over into the stuff that Sony does, because I don't think that most of the people in the public make the distinction between Sony and Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
I think they look at this and they just think Marvel because it's Marvel characters and it's Sony Studios in association with Marvel.
I mean, that's how they trick some actors and agents into casting their people.
Yeah. Remember we talked about this during Madam Web. Dakota Johnson, found out that it wasn't a Marvel film, and I think she fired her.
She did. She switched to a different agency.
Yeah. So I mean, that's that's
kind of telling.
That's kind of telling. But also, I think we're lucky that the Venom movie specifically were the way that they were. They could have been a lot worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you
like Morbius bad.
Yeah, they could have been Morbius bad. They could have just been a lot worse. They could have been Far From Home bad. But I think they, for what they are, they're very good. I just think they kind of get a bad rap because they're Marvel adjacent in a way, and I think it's just it's become really it's become the du jour thing, if you will, to crap on Marvel movies. I mean, Marvel worked hard to earn that, but this could have been Knull could have been played by Lizzo, for crying out loud, or Jack Black. This could have gone a lot worse than it did.
I took a DNA test. Turns out the symbiote. Yeah, sorry. By the way, George,
I was going to be singing that too, Brad.
Okay. Yes, Wendy. Don't I randomly just sing songs?
Mm-hmm.
How do you do it? How do you do it?
It's like, yeah.
How do you do it? 2025, 20 years of marriage. She's a saint. All right.
He's in the basement.
I want to point this out too, Brad, real quick before I go, because the film is still out. It's still making money. It's about halfway there to becoming solvent.
Making a lot more money overseas than in the United States.
It makes sense that China would go see this. This whole thing seems like a China wet dream. The whole symbiote thing. But one thing that I'll point out is if you have a situation where the critics love it and the fans hate it, then you have failed the movie. Because the critics aren't the ones that are going to be paying to see this again. The critics go in and see it for free. And so when you've pleased the critics, and the critics are looking at that through a prism, does this meet certain criteria that I need to see? As as someone who wants to see, this or needs to see that. And so now the general movie going public doesn't give a crap about that. They just want to be entertained. So when you have a situation where the critic score is huge, but the audience score is tiny, they don't like it, then you have a problem. The Last Jedi had this problem. The critics loved it. Oh, it's subversive. It destroys Star Wars. I love it. Give me more. And the fans hated it. They're like, oh, this is bullshit. and we don't like this dog food. Can you try harder? Right now, Venom is currently sitting at 40% with the critics, but 80% with the audience.
So B minus is the average. Okay.
I mean, for the 80 for the audience score, yeah. So the audience liked it more than the critics did. So that's one thing I would like people to do, like when they see, oh, this did such and such on Rotten Tomatoes, actually go and look at the difference between the critic score and the audience score. What you want is you want a high audience score.
Yeah.
A high audience score. That means that the people that saw it actually enjoyed it. Who cares what the critics think?
But you can't really trust that, because they can review bomb like they did Barbie, like they reviewed Madam Web. Brad, they review bomb things, man.
Yeah, but Brad, people don't review bomb stuff for stuff they like. They review bomb things for stuff that they hate.
Real quick, George, you said multiple times on this show that you love Mrs. Chen.
I love.
So it sounds like you need to watch Across the Spider-Verse, where Mrs. Chen is actually in it.
He hasn't even seen the second Venom movie, Brad. How are you going to get him to watch that?
That's not going to happen.
Or the first Spider-Verse.
Anyway, I just wanted you to see her fourth appearance, which is Mrs. Chen. Yeah.
Not that long ago, I took my students on a field trip to go see the second Spider-Verse movie with a live DJ and a live chamber group. It was really cool.
That would be cool.
It was so cool.
Yeah. Chris, anything else, George?
No. I think that pretty much covers it.
Christina, final thoughts.
Couple things. Spider-Man 4 is dated for 2026, and so because it's between Doomsday and Secret Wars, people think that it might be a Battle World movie, which means it might be a multiversal movie. So maybe Spider-Man will get his black suit in there, maybe, because I love black suit Spider-Man. And then, in terms of the Venom films, as a huge Venom fan, you really kind of just have to put that in the back of your mind and just realize that they're not going to do what they do in the comics, and you kind of have to accept it for what it is. Now, I do think that these movies are miles better than Morbius and Madam Web, easily, and that's not saying much, though, but still. But I don't think this is the best Venom movie. I still like that first one a lot more. Mm-hmm. But I think if you're a fan of the film, all the films, you should still go see it. It is worth your time to go see almost a 2-hour movie. So,
Mrs. Crawl, anything else, Christina?
Nope.
Mrs. Crawlspace, any final thoughts?
No, not that I can think of.
I have two. Okay, go ahead, George.
I got real quick. I got another thing I want to say. Okay. So, I'm a big fan. There was a part of me, and I've mentioned this on Crawlspace before, but not all that often. Originally, I wanted to be a filmmaker. I am somebody that went to film school here in back in I lived in Texas, and then I switched my majors and I went into to history instead. But one thing that I used to love back when I was wanting to be a filmmaker was I was huge into trauma movies.
What's a trauma movie?
Trauma is a studio up in New York that did the Toxic Avenger movies. And
so low budget.
Yeah, low budget, kind of schlock, kind of nudie things, okay. Right? And but here's the thing: I enjoyed them because of the same reason I enjoyed Ed Wood's Plan 9 from Outer Space, and that people had a vision. They were like, "Oh, I kind of want to do this," and they went out and did it, even if it's not the best thing ever made. They would go out and do it. And that was kind of where I was as a filmmaker. I'm like, just get it done, So I want to say that I kind of I feel like I'm enjoying the Venom movies, kind of on the same level that I enjoyed trauma movies.
Yeah. The other thing we had a question from McNulty. Before, let's get this now. I have one real quick around the horn. Would any of you see a Sony Disaster 6 movie without Spider-Man and Knull as the main antagonist?
That's Sony Dinister. He misspelled
Sony Dinister. Sorry, Sony's.
Yeah, Sony Dinister, meaning sinister.
We all saw Madam Web. We'd go see it, Mike. Come on, we would.
Hell yeah.
Ride or die.
Ride or
Madam-
die, yes.
I-
Spider-Man Ride or
Madam
die.
Web was such a dumpster fire that like I'm in for Sony. Like I want to see what garbage you guys put out. Let's do it.
The other question the other question I always ask on these movie review shows, was there any funny theater antics? Anybody have funny in theater things? Anybody do anything funny in the theater with you guys?
The people next to me, there were like 4 or 5 20-somethings on the right side of me, wouldn't shut up, and so I stared them down.
Did it work?
Get it, George. Get it.
Until like the one dude that was like furthest on the left, like kept looking over at me like, this old man is about to Bernie gets us. Maybe we need to shut the hell up. And then so they finally, composed themselves and shut up, and then I went back to watching the movie.
That happened to me during the Kevin Costner Horizon movie. These old people they don't know how loud their voices are. And I remember this on Yellowstone when Kevin Costner, shut up. Josh or anybody have any other funny in theater moments?
The guy beside us kept like under his breath laughing like George does, going, "This is so stupid."
Anybody else? Now the last question. Oh, go ahead, Sarah.
I had one of the, so I was waiting till like after the credits, right? Because like one does that, and
Yep.
the movie theater worker was like, "It's not worth it. You should just leave." And I was like, "Come on!" I was
He wasn't lying.
Yeah, but
You weren't wrong, but
He was not wrong.
I was like, "I'm sitting here, like I will pick up my trash. Do not worry." Like,
Yeah, I hear you. I agree that it was not worth it. Now the other question is, are we going to go see the Craven movie next month and review this? Tyler, go.
is that next
Yes,
month?
absolutely.
Yeah, Tyler's down. Josh, next month.
Yeah,
Craven.
well, I'm down.
Sarah, Craven.
let's go.
Let's go. George, Craven.
You and I already agreed we were going to do that when I came up there for Deadpool.
Oh, you're going to come up and see it in person?
Well, you're not going to come up here and see it with me.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Hey, Mrs. Crawlspace, me, you, and George at the theater.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So excited.
Christina, Craven.
Yes, ride or die. Let's go.
I'm Craven.
We're craving some Craven. Will it be better than this film? I think it will.
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, I love
Zero
Russell.
expectations.
All
Yeah,
I
right.
love
pretty much.
Russell Crowe. I don't know if they're trying to say that Russell Crowe is the OG Craven,
He's his daddy.
and the new one is like the Alexi or whatever. I don't know how that's going. Or I don't know if like Aaron Taylor Johnson is supposed to be the OG Craven. I don't know how that's going to play out. We'll see.
We will find out next month. How's that for a
Mhm.
tease? Thank you, panelists and the missus, for watching us and chat. We will be back next month for more bad Sony movies.